Around the time of Revoice, the idea for Voice Live was also conceived.
I think it was just around the time of Revoice, maybe just a little after, kind of early 2011. And I was listening to the original Voice album at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm supposed to be sleeping. And often at that time of night, crazy ideas come to you. Listening to the album just without any other distractions made me realise once again how evocative the songs were, how timeless and how heartfelt I think a lot of them were. And it struck me that we needed to perform them live. I don't know what told me that, but it just seemed obvious to me. Why hadn't I thought of it before? I mean, it had been sort of casually suggested in the early days after the session, but at the time none of us were really up for that. The problem is how do you do it? The only way the concert would work for me was if we performed the whole album, all the songs. And because of the diversity of those songs and the way they were put together, that was going to be very difficult. But it was one of those situations where you just have to do it somehow. I was also quite slightly concerned about everybody's availability, getting all the students in the same place at the same time. And it felt a bit like Wayne's World 2, where they're trying to put on the concert and it's, if you book them, they will come. And I kind of felt, we've just got to do this somehow. That caused a few problems, as you can imagine, and there were many other challenges along the way, but all along, Voice Live had to happen. Once the idea was there, it had to go, so we did it.
The planning and preparation for Voice Live was, if anything, even more comprehensive than the 24-hour session. To perform such a variety of material in one concert would take a hugely complicated arrangement of instruments and equipment. On top of this, Branwen also planned to capture the performances on a 24-track recording system, as well as filming the show with multiple cameras to facilitate a high-quality DVD release. Rehearsals commenced in late spring, mostly at Branwen's home. Here is an extract of Meg's song, Should Say, being rehearsed a week before the concert.
How can I ever be sure when you're not the same? Why can't it be like it used to be? To me, when everything was black and white, everything was crystal clear. With you should say, should say, should say, should say you need me. You should say, should say, should say, should say you need me. You need me, but you only say, how are you? Sometimes I wish I knew where you are, even when you're sad right next to me. But sometimes it just feels like you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Cause everything was black and white, everything was crystal clear. With you should say, should say, should say, should say.
Meetings and rehearsals at school were also scheduled, and it was during one of these that guitarist Jake came up with the concept for the striking new Voice logo used to promote the concert.
So the Voice Live logo, that was a new idea. Not long before the concert actually. We were having a meeting at school about the concert and Jake came up with the brilliant idea of making up the letters with people and musical instruments, which immediately everybody thought was brilliant. It's definitely the way forward. So we had to figure out a way of doing it. And there were various discussions about what clothes we should wear, all this kind of thing. Ultimately we decided on black, and we used instruments that had lots of black and white, like keyboards and speakers and mixing desks. And we used the corridor outside the art room, and we laid a big green screen, or a big green sheet down, provided by my dad very generously, and they arranged themselves on the floor for each letter, one at a time. And I precariously balanced on a stool above them and took photos from above. took them home, and then spent many hours laboriously photoshopping them and getting rid of the green screen, which you can do quite quickly using the Magic Wand tool, but also using carefully drawing around and making masks. And then assembling them on a white background, obviously, and treating them so that they all had the same kind of brightness and contrast, so that the letters were all balanced. I was really happy how it came out. I think the images are really strong and it works well at a distance and close up. And yeah, we used it on, Neil used it on the backdrop, and we used it on the t-shirts, and we used it on the posters. Basically, yeah, it became a kind of brand in itself. So well done, Jake. Great idea.
Talented local artist Neil James volunteered his skills to reproduce the logo on a large-scale backdrop to hang behind the Voice Live stage. Neil, who was a huge fan of both the Voice and Revoice albums, incorporated some of his own ideas and generously spent several days and many evenings in the theatre, meticulously hand-painting the image with fabulous accuracy. During the week leading up to the show, a small but committed technical team spent many hours in the Attic Theatre carefully configuring lighting and sound equipment. Countless cables, microphones and endless lengths of gaffer tape went into making the detailed plan a reality, with surprisingly few technical glitches. Rehearsals continued during the evenings at the theatre, with Neil James and Year 12 drama student Zoe Fitzgibbon taking on the duties of lighting operators. A debut performance in this role for both of them. Previous music tech student Stacey Doherty joined the team for technical assistance, also finding time to interview the musicians for another DVD special feature. Another new member of the voice team joined the production at this stage, Year 9 student Harry Upton, who bravely took on the job of live sound engineer for the production.
Welcome to day 2 of the Voice project. It's been at the end of a really busy day of setting up for us. Harry Upton here, our sound engineer, has been showing the recent A-level students how to do things like not mute vocals and whatnot. We've had quite a lot of trouble with cables breaking, microphones crackling, monitors crackling, everything's been going wrong, but we've fixed everything now. And tonight we've got the first rehearsal with the band from 6 till 10, which is quite exciting, a bit nerve-wracking as well. We've basically turned this sheet of paper, which looks quite scary, into an entire setup, and everything on here works!
As the last few rehearsals progressed, the production became tighter and more confident. The team on the stage spent considerable time practicing the logistics of running the songs in order, getting on and off stage smoothly, swapping instruments where relevant, and finding the right microphone at the right time for lead and backing vocals. With a show as complex as Voice Live, these details can be easily overlooked, but when properly rehearsed, contribute greatly to the professionalism of a performance. The final rehearsal was a chance for film crew Derry McCreary and Harvey Upton to practice their roles as camera operators, and for the band to try out their specially printed Voice Live t-shirts. At last, the stage was set.
Yeah, finally, after, a year in the making, essentially, we were there. We'd arrived, and those last few days, intensive rehearsal in Attic and technical configuration, it suddenly became obvious how worthwhile all that time that we'd spent was. Everything was looking amazing. We shot some video in rehearsals, and it just looked incredible. So all we needed was the audience, and they came and they loved it, and we loved it. What an experience. It was quite emotional both nights. Just working with people that you've kind of worked with intensely over different periods of time, from the 24-hour session to kind of dealing with the remixes, and then the idea of the gigs and the rehearsals and everything. Yeah, we developed such a kind of bond as a team. What a great team. I remember Zach saying in an interview with Stacey how nobody was messing about, and it's true. We were all just so kind of dedicated to the project. Those kind of projects don't happen very often, where you have the entire team really behind it, and wow, yeah, I think that really came across in the concerts. When you watch the DVD, it's just it's kind of, it looks so effortless, which I think is because we were all so committed to it. That's a wonderful thing. I'm really, really grateful to have been able to have this experience and work with such amazing burgeoning talent. I can't wait to see what they all do, but yeah, I think this concert is something that will hopefully stay with them through the years.